came out in the early 90s. I was in high school and became an AIDS activist. I think it wasn't until I started to really explore what it meant to be a queer Asian man and deal with my own internalized racism and shame that I was able to even consider going to these spaces. So I felt really alone.
Coming out in the 80s was rough. I got beaten up, I got bullied, I got made fun of for being gay, for being femme, for being Asian, for looking like an immigrant, for being too fat. And what brings me to this work is that I don't want somebody else to go through what I had gone through.
There was a lot of post 9/11 coalition building that was happening in Chinatown and in the Asian American community. And it was at a community event. I was there, John Vang was there. We had both tipped our hair gold tips. We were going to go out later that night. And Glenn bounces up to us and he says, "Are you queer?" So both of us said, "Yeah, why?" very defensively. And that was how Glenn invited me to be on the organizing team for the Queer Asian Pacific Legacy Conference. So the conversations that led to NQAPIA started from the conference.
NQAPIA was founded in 2005 when we brought together these different groups from around the country to the conference in creating change in the Bay Area to figure out how we wanted to support each other from our different locations and what the opportunities were for national work together.
I wish that I had, much younger in my life, learned to love all of me. There was so much emptiness there, and I think that I sat in that space so much longer than I would have had I had the community that I have now, had I have the family that I have now.
NQAPIA as a whole taught me what it means to really love folks and grow with them. And I think having you there to do all of that with me, for me, and then still being able to do that now, it really rounds out what NQAPIA is supposed to be about.
You have to stand and sit in front of all the legislators, one by one if you have to. Put your face before that person and let your face tell the other things about the issue, how American it is to be included in comprehensive immigration reform.
The number of queer Asians, the visibility has just exploded so much in the past 5 years and working with NQAPIA. I feel inspired in asylum in Hawaii because seeing people that look just like me, that went through the same cultural experiences I have, has just made me feel more part of the larger community.
Queer API folks have been parts of movements, whether they were super out about it or not. That's our legacy. We're standing on the shoulders of all of these queer API heroes, and we can take pride in that and step into our roles as leaders of movements and being visible and in owning our identities and normalizing our identities so that we can get deeper into who we are as individual people.
Film and actor CONRAD RICAMORA received the Community Catalyst Award from NQAPIA over the weekend.
The work that they do, bringing acceptance and promoting equality and justice for Asian Americans is really important.
We are launching a national groundbreaking campaign to bring our story to the fore, where we have Asian American parents who have LGBT kids telling their stories of love and acceptance on stations and in communities across the country.
We don't have those freedoms to have a summit like NQAPIA back home. Those freedoms aren't afforded to many people worldwide, and that's one of the reasons why we come here. Not to be criticized and kicked out and be discriminated against, but to find freedom.
So our goal is for each person to be able to have 2 to 3 conversations. So when you get one of your yeses, go ring the bell so that we can all keep the energy up and celebrate.
1 in 3 Asians in the U.S. live in a state where we can be fired because of our sexual identity.
I support LGBTQ rights and API immigrant rights because I'm a trans woman of color.
Thank you so much for taking action with us. Have a good day.
Yay, my first call.
Oh, yes. I think he just hung up on me.
Yeah.
It is not just all of us that are gathered here. It is every person.
Immigrants are welcome here.
Part of my vision for NQAPIA in the next 15 years is we really figure out how to build base and outreach in ways that aren't just online, aren't just through universities, and that really mean that we have a much more cross-class base than we do now.
My hope is that in 10 years, maybe there's no need for family acceptance work. So that's a really utopian dream that I hope that NQAPIA will help us fulfill.
10 years, 20 years, probably double or quadruple the amount of orgs.
This will always be my home to grow in, that this is a home that's always challenging me to uncover and accept more myself.
Yeah, I think COPI's helped us to build our collective voice, and I would love to see a future where we have multiple queer, trans, POC voices being heard at a national level and beyond.
Specific vision and a dream that when we open that door to true equality, we see all of our faces. Not only some of our faces, but all of our faces. That is the dream of true equality. And I think with your help, we will realize that dream. Thank you for having me this evening.